Hi, my name is Mike Milam, and I am the interim minister of music at St. John's Episcopal Church in Roanoke, Virginia. Like so many of you, we are very much figuring this out as we go along, but I'm happy to have this chance to share with you what is working for us at this point. St. John's is a large downtown parish in Roanoke. Our average Sunday attendance is between 400 450. That is spread across three services, an 8 a.m. spoken Eucharist, a 10 a.m. Main service with choir and organ, and a 5 p.m. gathering service, as we call it. That's more blended worship style, our acoustic Eucharist, if you will. What we've been doing since mid-March is live streaming one service on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. On the first Sunday of each month, we celebrate Holy Eucharist, and on the Sundays in between, morning prayer, right too. We're fudging a little bit coming up on May 31st, although that's not the first Sunday of the month, but rather the last. We're fudging just a bit there so that we can celebrate Eucharist on Pentecost Sunday. Leaflets for these services are published online, and we send an email link to the live stream and to the printed leaflet to our parishioners each Friday in preparation for the Sunday live stream. Musically speaking, we have been having a quartet, an SATB quartet on Eucharist Sundays, and a soloist or perhaps duet on the Sundays when we're having morning prayer. All socially distanced, of course. We're fortunate in that we have space in our chancel to observe appropriate social distancing with 4 singers and an organist. Primarily traditional music at this point, with some occasional incorporation of music from the evening service, of the more blended worship style, as that is possible for us. We recognize that attention span and engagement are potentially different in this format versus in-person worship, and so we have found that shorter is generally better. Therefore, we're not including as much music as we would for in-person worship, but rather keeping in mind the goal of using very meaningful music at very impactful points in the liturgy. Our audiovisual setup has evolved and improved from week to week. Our first time out, like many of you, we had roughly 48 hours to prepare our first ever live streamed service under these circumstances. One of our biggest challenges has been achieving a good sound quality for the music via live streaming and recording, while also maintaining a good quality for speech. This is an ongoing process, and we've made adjustments and improvements from week to week. Our space and our equipment setup thus far have necessitated 2 different combinations of settings, one for speech, one for music. I will say that we have recently found a great deal of success using a Zoom H4n Pro recorder for everything musical, both for streaming and recording. We also offer live streamed noonday prayers led by our rector on Wednesdays at 12 noon, and also a pre-recorded service of Compline each day led by staff and parishioners. Music has not been included in the Compline service so far, but that is forthcoming. Basically, that's how we've been using music in our service. I also want to just mention what else we're doing musically within the parish. We are releasing pre-recorded music from the church each week via YouTube. So far, it has included organ, piano, and a mini recital, if you will, of trumpet and organ music to usher in Eastertide. We have recently asked parishioners to suggest some of their favorite hymns, some of the hymns that have formed them over the years that we will use in a recorded program, pre-recorded program, coming up in a couple of weeks. And where our vision for that is that we'll include a variety of settings of those requested hymns, organ settings, piano settings. We will involve some vocalists and hopefully some other instrumentalists. We have a very large children's program in our church. And so Children's Chapel continues to be offered each week in the form of a pre-recorded service, and the musical elements of that continue as we are able to make them happen, as we have musicians available to participate in the recording of that service each week. All of our streams and our recordings are available on our YouTube channel. Again, it's St. John's Episcopal Church, Roanoke, Virginia. It is all very much a work in progress. We are nowhere near where I think we want to eventually be with this, but check us out as we continue to experiment with the best ways to do this. As far as other musical things that are going on in the parish during this time, one or more potential virtual choir projects are perhaps in the works. I want to also mention we hold an annual week-long summer music camp in July for typically around 30 elementary age children. While that won't be happening in person this year, our camp teachers, who are all local music educators in the public schools, and our minister to children and families plan to work together to pre-record some short sessions that we will push out each morning during what was to be Music Camp Week, so that children can participate for about an hour remotely each day, and then we'll perhaps wrap that up on Friday morning with a Zoom session and a chance to be together remotely. All of our music ensembles at St. John's enjoy a great and profound sense of community one with another, and so we've worked very hard to maintain weekly contact with all of our ensembles, primarily through email, but also with phone calls. We've done this with our children, our youth, adult choirs, handbells, just to support that sense of community and to strengthen each other during this time. Each week when we do that, we share online resources and links to performances, musical activities, particularly for the children, to keep those juices flowing during this time apart from one another. So that's a glimpse of what we're doing. In another video through VTS here in this project, my colleague here in the Diocese of Southwestern Virginia, Martha Burford, who is at Grace Episcopal in Lexington, Virginia, quoted John O'Donohue's poem Before the Beginning. The part that she quoted says, "Unknown to us, there are moments when crevices we cannot see open for time to come alive with beginning." Those words have really stuck with me since I heard Martha repeat them, and it has given voice to something I've thought since this situation began to unfold, and its impacts on our daily and weekly work became more and more clear. And that is that I'm convinced that we will emerge from the other side of this being more creative and more open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. That is a silver lining that I have held on to the past couple of months, and I hope that's helpful for all of you as well. I look forward to hearing from colleagues and continuing to learn from and share with each other. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you. Stay safe and stay well. God's peace to you.